damn ball, RJ.
We are? That's nerve-wracking. Isn't everything RJ does on YouTube?
Yeah, everything RJ does
live
is
forever.
on YouTube.
I'm a little worried. All right, so OU got a commit yesterday, right? Nate Anderson out of Frisco, Texas. Tell us about this offensive lineman.
Well, you got a guy with a tremendous frame at 6'5", about 262. He's got a lot of room to grow. But what I think you should enjoy about this is his feet are spectacular. You know, we looked at these guys and how they move, and shuttle times are a really good indicator of how good someone is going to be when we're talking about moving in a tight space like end, right, or tackle. And as a converted defensive end, he was looking at 4.2 in a shuttle, which is pretty doggone good. And it's one of those things where a guy that might have been converted to offensive tackle from defensive end might scare some folks, but he sure doesn't scare Bill Beatonbow, and all we know is that Bill Beatonbow gets him in there. He has him for about 3 years, and all of a sudden you're a second, third, fourth round pick and projected to be a first round pick, and all you got to do is listen to what the guy has to tell you. And it seemed like Nate was just waiting on an offer, because Beatonbow goes down there on Thursday to visit with him in Frisco. He visits on Saturday, gets his offer, and then on Monday he commits. And this is a guy that had offers from Florida, TCU, Boston College, Baylor. He was waiting on this one, and that tells you a lot about just how excited he is to get into Oklahoma.
We're talking with R.J. Young, OU insider. R.J., loved it yesterday. OU announced they're going to have a future home-and-home with Georgia. Shows how Joe Castiglione remains aggressive with his scheduling, and, of course, the coach has got to go along with that. But your thoughts on them going to play. And I guess when they play Georgia at home, it will celebrate the 100-year anniversary of the stadium, right?
Well, I mean, I guess that's the way that you might look at it if you're, I don't know, into celebrating. I look at it in terms of, are you going to put butts in the seats? Because we've been talking a lot about how ticket prices have gone up and the new tax code is really getting into some folks about getting their season tickets. And Joe C. has done everything he can to entice people to continue to hold on to their season tickets. And you look at, it's not just Georgia, right, in 2023, I believe it is, but it's also Nebraska in 2021 and 22. It's also Clemson down the road. It's Alabama down the road. It's Michigan. It's Army. It's Ohio State. It's the Blue Bloods, right? It's the people that you want to play, and you want to see Oklahoma play. And it's also something you can sell to the kids that you're recruiting for the 2020, 2021 classes, that you're recruiting for 2022. And you know, more than anything else, it sticks to the reputation that Oklahoma has built of one that is, hey, we want all comers. We're not running from anybody. And if we can get it on the schedule, let's get it on the schedule. And I really love that, especially right now in May as we're beginning to build toward preseason.
That's something I never thought of. You think that comes up in the living rooms with some of these kids as they're being recruited? Look at our future schedule. You get the chance to showcase what you can do against the Alabamas of the world?
I don't think it necessarily comes up against what the kids are, because the kids are looking at what the schedule is immediately in front of them, but their parents sure as heck do. And those are the folks that you really have to convince, right? Because parents are undefeated in recruiting, all right? If the parent doesn't want a kid to go to a school, guess what's not happening, right? So I think if you can sell that to a parent, says, hey, look, we got this on the schedule, we got that on the schedule, you know that we're going to try to do everything we can to help you, right? And we're going to try to help everybody in this situation of saying, look, you get to say, my kid's going to play against Michigan. Who's your kid going to play against? And if your kid goes to, I don't know, let's say Baylor a couple years back when it was Art Browse's show, or even Oklahoma State now, right? You're going to go, that's your schedule? That's who you guys want to play? Do you want to travel to UCLA or do you want to travel to Boise, Idaho? You tell me.
All right. Since I don't get to talk to you very often, I'll ask you some stuff or ask you a question that this is territory maybe you've already wandered around in. But spring football's over. We've had a couple weeks to process that. Caleb Kelly's likely out for the season, taking that into account. What would be a nice step forward for this Oklahoma defense in 2019 in your estimation? Whether that's statistical numbers where they get to, or maybe even something other than that, just a look or feel about this defense. What would be a nice step forward in year one under Grinch?
Well, I mean, there's a number of different things you can look at. You can look at Grinch's 24 takeaways. I think we all know that's the number that he has in his mind that he wants to reach at a minimum. I look at how many points are you going to allow. Let's make it real basic. Can you keep people under 25? Because if you keep people under 25 in the Big 12, you're going to set yourself up really well for the college football playoff year if you win the Big 12 championship, and that's what we're talking about, honestly. We're not talking about whether or not you can win the Big 12 title. We're talking about, can you beat Clemson? Can you beat Georgia?
Yeah.
Can you beat Alabama? And I think that as we continue to go along, you'll get a really good test in Dana Holgerson's Houston. They don't have a ton coming back defensively, especially. They look like they're just going to be ridiculously bad defensively. But Derek King is going to really, really stretch this defense with his legs. He could be a 3,000, 1,000-yard guy. But it could end up like Florida Atlantic last year when we thought that was going to be a really good test. I'm just going to look at how many points people score, right? And we thought really good things about the defense to start the season last year. By the time you got to Texas and you're getting 48 put up on you, that's untenable. You can't have that happen, especially with that Texas offense, because they just weren't built to put up 48 on anybody except Oklahoma. So if you're keeping people under 25, I think you're going to be really good.
Yeah, I guess it was a tweet you put out this week that I thought had a lot of great layers to it, but it was Sam Ellinger, Hard G. I love that was the nickname you gave him. Missing, I think on the opening drive, I think I remember the play of the Big 12 championship game last year, missing a wide open receiver deep, and you were saying Grinch fixed this. It kind of starts there, right? In a lot of ways, just don't do some of these things that will absolutely, if not get you beat, at least lead to giving up a whole bunch of points. Like, make the offense earn a little bit more, right? Start there. Let's make the offense earn it.
Know what you're running. You're saying, yeah, make the offense earn it, but know what you're running. Like, that clip that I displayed was basically saying, hey, Trey Norwood was late on a blitz because he didn't know what the call was, because they had a check with me, because Texas had a check with me. And I'm going, no, just stay in your call. Go 100 miles an hour making the wrong play, right? Making the wrong decision. Don't be in your head trying to figure out what you're supposed to be doing and all your different principles. Make it basic. Make it easy. Say, we're going to run this, and we're going to be really good at this, and we're going to come hell or high water. We're going to be in this defense when it's crunch time. And, that actually speaks to what Lincoln Riley does. And I think in him getting to hire his own defensive coordinator, you're going to see him pick somebody out that's like him. Lincoln will say, hey, I want 80% of my play card to be things that I feel comfortable calling no matter what the hell they're in. And I think if Grinch is that guy, you're going to see the defense get better in a real way because you have talent over there. We say it all the time. It's about getting out of their way and letting the kids, say, I'm going to play man or I'm going to play zone. And this is who I am and this is who we are. And that's going to give them a lot more confidence going into the season about just what is expected of them. And they'll know when they make a mistake as opposed to going, yo, I just didn't know what the call was, Coach.
Well, this is R.J. Young, OU Insider. R.J., I know you're versatile and you're talented, but I never knew that you also have an idea of what the Royals in England should name their baby, right?
That was a good joke on Twitter, man. I was going with Baker Kyler Riley.
Why not?
First of his name, he is son of Air Raid. He is Lord of Oklahoma and her lush Texas territory.
I like it.
Oh, man, that's priceless. I missed that. I wish I had. That's good stuff. R.J. Young, OU Insider. Thanks so much for your time, man. Good
Thanks,
stuff.
R.J.
Hey, thanks, Caden. Thanks, Dave.